It's still showing. Yeah. Okay. All right. So good evening, everyone. And we know that the exam is round the corner. And if you are preparing for NEET PG 2025 exam, you are at a right place. And I can tell you that these 30 minutes would be really life-changing for you for the next, specifically for this exam. And I want to welcome, I don't think the person with me needs any introduction. So welcome, Aditya.
Hi sir, hello sir, good evening sir, how are you sir? Sir, आपको भी कोई introduction की जरूरत नहीं है, no one needs any introduction.
Yeah. So, guys, this session is specifically being planned for best utilization of the last 50 days in your preparation. We all know that the NEET PG 2025 exam is going to be on 15 June. The exam notification is out. So, we will try to put our experience that how best you can utilize the time that is left for the preparation. Obviously, that you will be in different zone. Some of you have prepared very, very well. You are extremely confident, but on the other hand, you are getting this thought that what will if I have a bad luck on the day of the exam? On the other hand, you might be one who have done your reading once, or maybe in the middle of your second or first, you call first revision, and then you have started getting anxious. So I think we're gonna try to talk about it, that what best you can do in the time left, right? So welcome, Aditya, and let's start. So mostly when we start these kind of session, we start with a common question, that what are the things that you should remember in these last 50 days. I want to ask you, what do you think are the things that the student should avoid in the last days? So let's say, rather than calling it 50 days, student will get butterfly. Let me call it 2 months. So let me call it 2 months. So what do you think that the things that they should avoid doing in these last 2 months?
Sir, I think one thing a student should avoid doing, and this is a very important point I want to raise, that a lot of students, what they feel is that they want to complete the syllabus. Let's say I'm already done with 16, 17 subjects. I want to ensure that my anesthesia also is fully complete, my pediatrics also is fully complete, or, radio fully is complete, something on those lines. I would say now the time has come where if you have done, let's say, even 80% of the syllabus, okay, I'm not saying you have done 30, 40% of the syllabus, but let's say you have done 70 to 80% of the syllabus, the time has come for revision. Because this revision and this repeated next 2, 3 revisions in the next 2 months are the ones which are going to ensure that on the actual exam day, you're able to recall the facts, you're able to recall the information, you're able to get that MCQ right. So these 2 months, the mantra for these 2 months should only be practice and revision, practice and revision. Revise what you have learned till now, be it 80 or 85%, 70, 80%, and practice it again and again and again. Revision and practice, revision and practice. So don't be in the मैं एक syllabus पूरा complete करूंगा और फिर मैं revision करने की कोशिश करूंगा, because then what will happen, you will keep on completing the syllabus till the end, till June 10th, and you will have only 5 days for revision. That's not, if you're done with 70-80% syllabus, start the revision right now. The time has come for revision.
And I also believe that there is, in medical field, there is nothing called as completing the syllabus.
Completing, exactly.
Yeah, because
Medicine is infinite.
no matter how much have you read, you will come across one question that you do not know.
No, exactly.
So being a jack of all 19 is far better at this stage, rather than mastering
Master
a
of,
few
yeah.
subjects. Yeah, so very, very well said. Any other thing that they should avoid in the last 2 months?
So another thing I want to say, not really controversial, but I would say that people should, this is a personal belief, but I feel that you should delete your Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can
YouTube.
probably keep YouTube if you want to,
Because you are taking this session on YouTube.
no, sir, because I feel that on YouTube, you can go to YouTube to watch some concept which video. Sometimes one shot sessions are there. All these things can be there on YouTube. But having said, and YouTube per se is not like a social media app, being honest about that. But all the other social media apps at this point of time will contribute only to 2 things. One is FOMO. You might see someone studying in some particular way and you will be like, मैं वैसे कर लेता हूँ. No. Stick to your plan, जो आपने plan बनाया है. An imperfect plan executed is better than a perfect plan which is not executed. तो जो plan बनाया है उसको execute करो. Don't get into FOMO. And the FOMO का सबसे बड़ा कारण ही यही होगा. The biggest reason would be if you Instagram पे you will see some some post, some reel someone doing something in a similar, some else manner. You've already done that, but you'll get in FOMO of that. Or there might be something related to, or in general, we all know that a lot of the current generation, unfortunately, including me, we do the doom scrolling. We just keep on watching reels for 30, 40, 50 minutes. So social media in these 2 months is a distraction. Please delete those apps and just focus. I would simply say one thing. This is something which came to my mind now, that remember your NEET UG days. The amount of efforts and the amount of hard work you used to do. And I'm not saying that you need to do that hard work for 2 years, because MBBS is a long journey and it's kind of spread out. But for these 2 months, become that yogi, become that Baba, and become that, and I mean it in a good way. Someone who's working hard, I mean that. Be- that you're free of any distraction, and the only thing that comes to your mind is NEET PG and cracking NEET PG. And surely you will do that then.
Aditya, I always say this as eat, sleep, read, repeat. That's it.
Exactly.
These are the only thing that should be
Huh,
there in your mind.
definitely.
And because eat, sleep, read, repeat.
Wait.
And when you're writing the exam, the regret that should not be there in your mind is that I could have done best. I could have
Exactly.
done better. At the moment you come out of the exam, the first thing that should come to your mind is this was my best attempt. This is the best possible way that I can utilize my time. So a student, Arpita is writing, is this time enough? What is your view on this?
It's more than enough. If you're done with 70, 80% of the syllabus and you can do a proper, thorough 2 revisions over the next 2 months, nothing can stop you from getting a good rank in NEET PG. See, nobody can promise you a 100 rank or a 1 rank. Okay. But if you do your proper, 2 revisions properly, nobody can stop you from getting a top 3,000, 5,000 rank. And that rank at least ensures that you get the dream branch. Whichever branch that you have in your mind, you will get that dream branch at a 3 to 5,000 rank. So nobody is going to say कि अगर if you study only for 2 months, you'll get a first rank in NEET PG. No, that is obviously not possible. But if you're done with 70, 80% syllabus, you revise it thoroughly over the next 2 months, do your GTs and do the previous year question practice thoroughly and give your best shot. Like sir said right now, if for the next 2 months you can make eat, sleep, study, repeat your mantra, then nobody can stop you from getting a dream branch. That I can assure you.
So Aditya, the two important messages that you have given, I'm just repeating it. The two things that you should avoid is that don't try that you will be able to complete everything, number one, and avoid getting distracted because of the social media with a major focus that you have done on Insta and Twitter, right? These are the 2 points because they will bring more of FOMO and they will also be distracting you from your primary objective, right? Because a lot of time there are certain things that will keep on coming onto the social media which are not in your hand, and somebody will post a video that he has done this mistake in filling the form, and suddenly you will also starting getting anxious on this, that oh, I have written doctor in my name and now it is written that the doctor is not there in my Aadhaar card. Nothing happened with all these things, right? I mean, all these things can be sorted, but you will suddenly waste your 3 4 days, and that vicious cycle will come when you say, oh, now you are so. Ignore all of them and
Ignore the
study.
noise.
Now let's come to the real point for which we are doing this session. What are the things that you should do in these 2 months?
So it's like I said, sir, the thing that you should do in these 2 months, the time has come for revision, right? And I always say that you're not preparing for the exam, you're preparing to be able to revise in the last 10 days before the exam. You have 2 months right now. The simple mantra should be that you should be able to squeeze 2+1 revisions. By 2+1 revision, I basically means that 2 proper revisions of whatever notes that you have done, along with doing regular GT practice every 10th or 15th day and a previous year question practice, which goes on a daily basis, and a last booster revision in the last 7 to 10 days. If you're able to do that, even if let's say you're not able to do 2+1 revision, even if you're able to do a 1+1 revision, that you do a revision over 30 days and then another booster revision over the 10, 15 days, you are sorted. If you're done 70, if you're done with your first read, if you're done with 70, 80% of the syllabus, and you're able to do this 1+1 revision, and then give the exam with the regular GT practice in these 2 months, every 10th day, I would say, so around 4 to 5 GTs, and on a daily basis, solving the previous year questions of whatever subject that you are doing. This is it. It's going to take 10 to 12 hours on a daily basis, but nothing worth achieving has been gained without putting in the effort and without putting in the hard work. बस ये 2 महीने कर लो, निकल जाएगा, 100% निकल जाएगा.
So, Aditya, DBMCI is once again doing the live one-shot program from 4th May to 10th May. But this time it will be on DBMCI 1 app, and the student have to register for it. You are one of the biggest critic of these short courses. So what's your view on the role of one shot at this point of time? And if the courses are not useful, then why we have planned the course at this time?
Sir, I'm not a critic of short courses. I'm a critic of short courses as magic pills. Let's be very honest about that. A lot of people, and I say this very bluntly, a lot of people think that Delulu is the only Salulu, that पूरी MBBS मस्ती मारी और अब मैं ये 7 दिन का वन शॉट करके जाऊंगा और मेरी रैंक 1 आ जाएगी और मेरे को एम्स में रेडियो मिल जाएगी. I'm against this. A lot of people unfortunately started having this delulu or this delusion, let's put it this way, and I'm being very blunt about that. कोई कितनी भी गाली दे मेरे को, अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो कि 7 दिन का एक कोर्स लगा के आप एम्स में नीट में 100 या 1000 रैंक लेकर आ जाओगे, तो there is no defect in the course, there is a defect in you. Now coming to why were these short courses made and how can you utilize them and which students are definitely going to benefit from them. So I'll tell sir, imagine yourself in a scenario, and there will be multiple students who are watching this will be in this scenario, whom short courses definitely are going to be beneficial. आपने एक read कर लिया, you are done with your first read or you're done with your first revision and you are, like I said, you're done with 70-80% syllabus. Broadly आपका हो चुका है. Now, when the 2 months have come for revision, suddenly you are kind of daunted by the fact, how are you going to revise this vast syllabus? There are two kinds of students. One who would have planned for the revision in the first read itself. They will have their own crisp, concise notes already. They know how to revise in the next 2 months. These people, please, I would say that focus on what your revisable material already made. Don't be in FOMO of it. But for those people who are in the zone ki sir kar to liya, but ab samajh nahi aa raha revise kaise kare, then nothing better than this one shot. Especially for you guys, you might already be at a, you might be at a GT scores of 120, 110, 130. And you guys are like, I've done the first read, I've done the syllabus once, my scores are stuck. Why are they scores stuck? And you're able to realize they are stuck. Why they're stuck? Because I'm not able to revise it properly. My revision is lacking somewhere. In that scenario, one shot is going to be very, very beneficial. In the 7 days, you'll get to know what are the most important high yield topics that you can do in the last week. And you'll get the workbook, the last week workbook, the 20th notebook that we are calling, and that will help you in doing the last week revision properly. There's another second set of students I want to emphasize who, for whatever reason, could not prepare for the exam, were not properly versed with the exams, or there may be some set of students who just want to qualify the exam. Fair enough, I'm not done the preparation, but I just want to sit for the exam, want to qualify for the exam. Even if I qualify the exam, whichever branch I get, maybe it's through state quota, I might be having, a sponsored seat. A lot of people appear in that manner. I just want to qualify for the exam so that I know at least 50-60% questions मैं सही करके आ जाऊँ. 50% question, let's put it that way. For those people also, this one-shot revision can be very beneficial. एक third set of students है जो partially use कर सकता है one-shot को. These are those really good students who are sorted, who are broadly sorted. कि 10 subjects मेरे sorted है, 10 subjects मेरे sorted है, ये subjects मेरे को पता है, मेरे को अच्छे से revise करने आते हैं. But 6-7 subjects either I'm weak और मेरे को डर लग रहा है उनसे, या मैं उनकी revision में डर रहा हूँ. मेरे को पता है मेरे मेन नोट्स ये हैं, मैंने रिवाइज नोट्स बनाए हुए हैं, मैं इनको रिवाइज भी कर सकता हूँ, बट कुछ 6-7 सब्जेक्ट्स में मेरे को डर लग रहा है. For these people, I would say that what you can do is save your time, but because the one shot is going to be both live and recorded, सिर्फ जो अपने weak subjects हैं उनके 50-60% कर लो और बाकी subjects को एकदम strong करके चले जाओ. Still you are sorted. Still you will end up getting 80%, 50, 75, 80% correct, and you will be over the crossing line. So these are the 3 sets of students who can utilize and benefit from this one shot, sir.
Yeah,
Third one, I said third one, I said like said कि sorry sir, third one is a partial utilization. अगर किसी को लग रहा है कि वो ऐसे कर सकता है.
And so one size doesn't fit all always.
Yeah, exactly.
So always you have to tailor your strategy according to how much have you studied till now and what is your primary objective. So for all the students who were inquiring about one-shot program, so I just wanted to re-emphasize that one-shot program will be on DBMCI 1 app this year. It is a complimentary program that will be from 4th of May to 10th of May. All that you have to do is you have to register for the program by filling the form. We'll share the link in this description also. You can click on the link and you can join. The basic focus of the program will be on topics which matters the most for the exam. And the best part about this is that you will be getting the non-annotated PDF before the session, as well as the annotated PDF after the session. And it's a complimentary program. All that you have to do is you have to register for it. If you will not register for it, then you will not be able to get the access. Already 11,000 students have registered for it. So just make sure, because we have a capacity of 20,000 students. So please make sure that you register early for this, so that last, if you will send me a message that, sir, please allow me to attend this session, I will not be able to do it. So that's all that you need, is that you have to do register for it. These are faculty specific sessions, and this is different from the previous. Slightly more time has been allocated to the subject, because sometime the content that the faculty wanted to give, we have to rush through few of the topics. So care has been taken on this, that no faculty has to rush through the topic which are the must know topic for the exam. I mean, this is not a complete syllabus, as Dr. Aditya has already mentioned, but these are the topics which we feel that it's a blunder that if you do not know, if you're going for the exam, right? So this is the point.
These are basically those topics which are, I would say, important from the exam and also like also volatile. एग्जाम के टॉपिक्स को मैं दो में डिवाइड कर सकता हूँ बहुत आराम से, इंपॉर्टेंट, कंसेप्चुअल, इंपॉर्टेंट, वेरी वॉलेटाइल. ये very volatile are the ones which people, if they don't revise, they will on the exam they feel कि अरे ये मैंने पढ़ लिया होता तो मेरे को ये आंसर आता होता. If I would have revised, I would have done. So this ensures that you do those most volatile topics properly and able to revise in the last week. Conceptual topics, your broad reading will ensure, take care of, and that at least the volatile topics you are able to revise through this. This will take care of that. Definitely, sir.
So, Aditya, a lot of students are asking me about the GTs. What they should do. Two questions for you. First is that how they should evaluate the GT. What should be the frequency of the GT? And very important question is, when should they stop writing GT?
Sir, let's say there are 2 months to exam. I would say you should give 3 or maybe on the higher side 4 GTs. Every 10th day, every week to 10th day, you should give a GT. And you should stop writing the GT 10 or 15 days before the exam. Stop writing the GT 10 days before the exam. And I specifically say 10 days or 15 days before the exam, because at that point of time, that GT is not giving you any.
Your 10-day strategy is left. Students are waiting for your 10-day strategy. So that will be towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah. So whenever you would have seen me also talk about the last 10-day strategy, you would have realized I would have never ever said do a GT in that day. There is a reason for that. See, last 10 days is to consolidate your entire information in one go. And मैं उसको बोलता हूँ उल्टी करके आना है. It might sound a little crude, but the truth is that the unfortunate truth is that 100 question to 120, no matter how clinical people paper make, India का exam है, 100 to 120 questions will be fact based. And even for those questions which you think are conceptual, for example, मैं कहता हूँ न्यूरो का क्वेश्चन तुम्हें लगता है कि conceptual है, बट तुम्हें याद तो रखना पड़ेगा ना कि वो पाथ यहाँ पे आता है, फिर यहाँ पे क्रॉस करता है, फिर यहाँ पे आता है. अच्छा, कहाँ क्रॉस किया तब जाके मेरे को पता चलेगा. Even for the things you feel are conceptual require a little bit of memorization.
Every concept is on a background of a fact.
Fact, exactly. Every concept has a background of a fact. So if you don't revise in the last 7 to 10 days, so important facts हैं, अगर वो revise नहीं करके जाओगे तो in question, sometimes even conceptual question you will not be able to get the answer correct. But last 10 days आपको consolidation of your memory and consolidation of your facts and concepts के लिए हैं. उसमें GT देखे, there are only 2 possibilities. First, let's say you get a very good score in GT, your desired score in GT. Does it matter? No, because the actual GT is the NEET PG, right? If you get a low score in GT, God forbid you get a low score in GT, you will be going in the exam with a very low confidence, which is the worst mistake an aspirant can do. If you go in the exam with good confidence, you will be able to get even the questions which you're not even thinking getting correct. Answer ढंग से पढ़ोगे, 4 options को ढंग से देखोगे, you will eliminate and you will be able to get to the answer. You think I don't know the answer. और लो कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ जाओगे तो जो आंसर आता भी होगा उसमें भी कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे, उसमें भी खुद को डाउट करोगे कि ये सही है या नहीं है. So there's no point giving a GT in the last 10 to 15 days. What I would rather say is, don't skip INI-CET. Think of that as the real world GT. For those at least who have registered for INI-CET, I know a lot of people, there will be 10,000 people. If INI-CET has 50-60,000 registration, 10,000 people don't end up on the exam day. There's no point. We are not going to get selected and we are not going to get 100, 200 rank. What's the point of giving it? I would say give INI-CET definitely. I sure for an example you might not get selected. That's a different thing. But that will give you a real world feel of how the exam is. Going to the center 2 hours before, giving the exam in a 3 hour pattern, giving it in a block-wise manner. जब मई की गर्मी पड़ रही होगी और एसी 1 घंटे के लिए नहीं चलेगा, तुम्हें पता चलेगा, वो पसीना जब निकलेगा पता चलेगा, टॉयलेट नहीं जा पाओगे पता चलेगा, ताकि एग्जाम के दिन ये चीजें तुम्हें ट्रबल ना करें. So I would actually say that instead of giving a last 10 day GT, and which is not going to make any difference, ensure you give INI CT. That will be more important. Along with INI CT, I would say at least 3 GT should be given, but don't give a GT in the last 10 to 15 days. It serves no purpose. Good score doesn't mean anything. Bad score just decreases your performance on the last day.
So there is a question that is coming up and I would like to take it up. If you want to add anything, you can do that. And that is how to correct silly mistakes that you are doing in the mock test. So I believe that whatever mistake that the students are doing, they often call them a silly mistake. Whereas a lot of time what happens is that actually the students, the mistake that they are calling as silly mistakes are not really silly mistakes. It is lack of knowledge. It is the lack of exact knowledge that they have, and they often get confused between the two choices. And when they get confused between the two choices and they end up a wrong answer, they blame it on their luck, that it's a luck. But actually speaking, they did not know the difference between the two choices, because one was the correct answer, another was a distractor. And this is a right area where they have to practice. And that is where the role of writing the GT comes. Because when you do this mistake, then you identify कि अच्छा टॉर्च में कैल्सिफिकेशन होता है, ये तो मैंने पढ़ लिया था, बट पेरीवेंट्रिकुलर किसमें होता है और डिफ्यूज किसमें होता है ये तो मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं था. All that you know is calcification होता है, CMV में भी होता है, टॉक्सो में भी होता है. But what you did not know that how to remember this rightly in the exam, right? So most of the time when you are calling it as a silly mistake, it is not really a silly mistake. It is your lack of knowledge. Yes, some mistakes are really silly mistakes, like you forgot to read except. You did not pay attention to see the normal information that is given in the question. You saw there is an adult and you are marking it as an adenoblastoma. These are called as real silly mistakes. So in that, the rules are very, very simple. There are some standard rules: age, gender, not, except. These are the words that your eyes should scan. You have to make sure that your eyes are scanning those words. And by the time you have written more and more GTs, your brain will start seeing these words. Your brain will start seeing, oh, normal information is given in the question. That makes sense. Normal information is not given to increase the length. Normal information is given to rule out an option. Now, you have spent 30 seconds reading the question, and by the time you have read the options, you have forgotten the question. So if the question has got 2, 3, 4 lines, you have to learn that you are reading the last line of the question, then you are reading the option, and then you are going back, right? So if you are wasting time because of that, those are silly mistakes, right? So those are the one, and that is what Dr. Aditya has mentioned, that practice in the examination atmosphere. Rather, I will say that even if you're writing the GT in the house, consider you are writing the exam. There is no harm. Why do you want to write it on a mobile? Open your computer, open your laptop. All the GTs can be given on a laptop. All the GTs can be given on a computer. Set up the timer and try to write the GT in the same way, even in your house. You can't go to the computer workstation. This is absolutely acceptable. But create the environment in the house also. And then you will start seeing that your so-called silly mistakes, which are actually silly mistakes, are getting decreased. But whenever it is because of the lack of knowledge, go back, review that particular topic, see that whether it's a concept or whether it's a fact. If it's a factual information, try to memorize it in a way. Most of the time, some teacher must have done some way to make it easy for you, to make it simplified for you. But if unfortunately this has not been done, develop your own way. As I always say, either there has to be a logic. If there is no logic, you have to create the logic. Otherwise, you're gonna forget it. So that's what I will say that you can do. Aditya, you wanna add anything to this?
I fully agree to this. Just last thing I want to add कि आप लोग जो silly building on your part only, sir, आपने already discussed this. That lot of times what we think the silly mistakes are nothing but incomplete memorization and incomplete recall of the facts that you have learned. And the best example that you gave was the calcification one. You might remember calcification is in torch, but you simply need to remember another one more thing, that there is diffuse calcification, because it's again pedia ka ho gaya, sir, congenital infection. So there is diffuse calcification in toxoplasmosis and there is periventricular calcification in CMV. अब how you can remember, like sir said, मैं how I remembered it was simple. CMV में V आ रहा है तो periventricular में भी V आ रहा है तो periventricular will be in CMV, तो automatically tox में diffuse हो जाएगा. तो you have to figure out a way. Or what I did, I made also a list of topics that I need to revise on the last day. ये मैंने मी एंड ऋषभ माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड, हम लोग बहुत कॉमन एक दूसरे के वो हैं, वी मेड श्योर दैट on the last day we had a list of around 30-40 topics apart from what we were revising. ये 30-40 topics we had to see on the last day so that we don't make what we call as silly mistakes. These included things like एक बार सारी equations को मैं देख के जाऊंगा फार्मा एंड फिजियो की, क्योंकि उस दिन हो सकता है ऑन द एक्चुअल डे आई डोंट रिमेंबर वेदर द के इन फार्मा इज 2.3 और 0.23 और 0.693, right? I won't remember that. So if I have revised it in the, so if you're making silly mistakes like these, take a note of them and ensure that what things you feel I cannot revise, I cannot remember at all. जैसे आईपीसी के सेक्शन या बीएनएस के सेक्शन फॉर दैट मैटर टुडे पीपल फील दैट दे कैन नॉट रिवाइज. अब एक 20-30 टॉपिक्स की जो 1 मिनट की रिविजन ही है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट टू मच ऑफ रिविजन, उनको आप लास्ट डे रिवाइज करके जाओ and आपकी वो silly mistakes नहीं होगी. Another thing I would just want to, वो silly mistakes नहीं, like sir said, they are just an incomplete recallability of the things that you have learned. So if you do your last 7-day or 10-day revision properly and ensure that you revise them things in that manner, these silly mistakes will definitely reduce. And last, I would say some questions are, like sir said, some questions are not medicine questions. Some questions are, or MBBS questions. Some questions are English questions. Not incorrect. Which of the following statement is not incorrect? Instead of asking which of the following statement is correct, they are saying which of the following statement is not incorrect. Right? Double negative that they have given. So just scan the question properly. These are English questions. I remember there was a question once in AIMS many years ago, sir, that which of the following is not found in DNA? Adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. And in case of thymine, they had not given THYMINE, they had given THIMINE, the vitamin B1 which is there. So this is not a this is not a biochemistry question. This is an English question which they are asking. So which a lot of times which you consider as silly mistakes,
INICT is known to do these things.
these kind of things. So just carefully scan the question, and carefully scanning of question, like sir obviously pointed out, will be done if you do these 3-4 GTs in the next 2-3 months properly. Give yourself that environment of an exam like feeling, and then you will be decreasing these silly mistakes going forward.
Aditya, at this stage, I also want to say that all these forgettable stuff, if you have a real FOMO of them, have been covered in one-shot program. So students have written a lot of time. So this is the schedule of one-shot program. This will be starting from 4th of June. And 4th June, you will have pathology, ortho, and ENT. And then 5th, you will have microbiology and OBG. 6th, you will have FMT, eye anatomy. 7th, you will have dermatology, surgery, physiology. 8th, you will have pharmacology, psychiatry, and anesthesia. 9th, you will have PSM, biochem, pediatrics. And 10th, you will have radiology and medicine, right? So the time has been divided in a way so that whatever we feel is forgettable to you, whatever we feel is the last minute you have not prepared your 20th notebook, and now you want to revise them, and a lot of time you are trying to take it from somebody else. Aditya, what happened on Twitter today? It's a very interesting thing that has happened. So I saw a message. It was there. The message was that somebody has shared a note where it was written about the screening guideline of a colorectal cancer, and where one statement was written. The statement was
I saw that. I saw that tweet.
the statement was that what the hell is this? 10 years before the disease has been diagnosed,
How can I
how
do
can
the
somebody will start the screening, right? So then normally I don't comment on such tweets, but I got very tempted, and finally I commented on that. That means that if your first degree relative has been diagnosed with a cancer, then you should start screening 10 years earlier when he was
was
diagnosed.
diagnosed?
And then I had to write it down, and that is why we recommend student that you have to make your own
Oh,
notes.
notes. This is very true. See, whenever you are taking, let's say, someone else's notes, they can always serve as a guideline.
Yeah.
There's no harm. See, हम लोग अपने सीनियर्स के नोट्स लेते हैं, एमबीबीएस में लेते हैं. There is no harm in doing that. I have nothing against that practice. मैंने खुद अपने सीनियर के नोट्स लिए थे, but इसका मतलब that did not mean that I was not making my own notes. that just served as a guideline that he has covered this topic. I need to cover this topic. He probably has left that topic. Maybe I can leave that topic, or maybe that topic is not that important, or maybe I need to figure out a way to do that topic. He has ensured that this information is kept. I'm keeping that information. But those notes can never serve the purpose of concepts and recallability. That will only happen when you make your own notes. That can never happen when you think you can just, आप डाउनलोड, मतलब मैं तो इनको, अगेन आई विल बी वेरी ब्लंट सर, मैं बहुत बोलता हूँ, बहुत लोग ना पीडीएफ के कबाड़ी बन जाते हैं, बस पीडीएफ इकट्ठे करते रहते हैं ना, या, है ना,
What a name.
है ना. So a lot of people are PDF. Yeah, go through their Adobe Acrobat or go through their notes section. They will have 250 PDFs. None of them would have been opened at any given point of time, or none of them would have been revised in a proper manner the way it should have been revised. अगर आपने लिया ही था 200-300 रुपए दे के किसी सीनियर का, तो आप उनको या तो रिवाइज करो ढंग से बैठ के, उससे खुद के नोट्स बनाओ. नहीं, हम लोग इकट्ठा कर लेते हैं सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन, पढ़ने के बारे में बाद में सोचेंगे. तभी मैं उनको पीडीएफ के कबाड़ी बोल रहा हूँ, राइट? That you're just collecting information without having any use for it. So you should make your own notes. No harm in seeing someone else's notes for a guideline purpose. Just the way our guidelines are also made. Guidelines don't mean that you actually follow the guidelines. They are made, the word itself is guideline. आपको उसका real world applicability खुद से ही determine करना होता है as a clinician. The same way those notes, if you're seeing somewhere PDFs are there, and I know that a lot of students are using them, but they can just be a guideline. You have to make your own notes because only those notes can be revised.
Tell
And
me
they
a
can,
very pertinent question now. My GT score are stuck for the last 1.5 months. What should I do?
okay. So there are two parts, sir. Where are they stuck? First of all, I would first address the 120 to 140 gap ones.
That's the most common area where this
This is one of the most common area. देखो,
Yes.
अगर I would simply say that if your 120 to 140 stuck GTs are there and you feel that it is occurring because of revisability, then I would genuinely advise, this is the one area, this is the one set of students I would actually advise, you can actually come to one shot and you can definitely go for a short course. Okay, that if you feel that 120, 140 is occurring because whenever you go and attempt a GT, you're not able to revise and not able to recall, and you're not able to, थोड़े बहुत सब्जेक्ट्स में तुम्हारे स्पेशली जो वॉलेटाइल सब्जेक्ट्स हैं उनमें तुम्हें फैक्ट्स याद नहीं रह रहे, तुम्हें डर लग रहा है, मे बी लेटर ऑल्सो you're not able to revise, then maybe this 1 week one shot can serve as a booster for your preparation. वो तुमको उस 120, 140 के गैप से 150 पे निकाल के ला देगा. The second reason I would say is please analyze your mistakes. And उनको दो category में रखो. I would keep them in two category. One category is a conceptual mistake. One category is a factual mistake. Conceptual mistake, I would say, if it is a topic which is a previous year topic, has been asked previously. For example, let's say you're making a mistake in an ABG analysis, and you're continuously making a mistake in ABG analysis, or you're continuously making a mistake in ECG analysis, or you're continuously making a mistake in whether it is SAM, moderate acute malnutrition, or whether it is chronic malnutrition. These are basic concepts, basically. So then take time, give 3-4 hours. That topic probably demands those 3-4 hours which you have not given in the first place, and see your score improve. Coming to the facts part, facts को दो में divide करो. Whether a previous year question, not a previous year question. Not a previous year question, forget about it. Doesn't matter. Those are extra filler facts जो हर GT में थोड़ा extra platform दे रहा होता है. Just for here and there, उनको भी people have to make sure that the GT is a little tougher as compared to the actual exam. But if it's a fact which is a previous year question fact and you unfortunately are not able to remember it, make your own 20th notebook or have a plan to revise in the last 7 to 10 days. These are the two ways I would say that you can improve your GT scores. Improve analyze your mistake. The entire point of GT is analyzing your mistake that you had. Let's say you are getting 70 questions incorrect or 60 questions incorrect. You are at 120, 130. See, कौन से concepts weak हैं, उनको पढ़ लो. Give that time. The reason they are making a mistake now is because you probably did not give the time earlier. Give the time right now for those concepts. Factual में दो तरीके के facts मैंने बता दिए. Not a PYQ is a PYQ. Not a PYQ, forget about it. Doesn't matter. Those are not your mistake. They're not going to be anywhere. Is a PYQ, either write it down in your notes, add it to your notes, and ensure you revise it 1 week before the exam, right? And then give the exam.
How to solve a PG level question? Before you answer it, my answer is, why do you want to solve it? Please remember, this is an exam that is prepared by not just 19 faculties of different subject, multiple faculties. It is not possible that you will be knowing the answer of all 200 questions. And moreover, I do not want that paper to be ever being made like this. We do not want to have a NEET UG kind of situation here when 720 of 720 has been like more than 50 people have got 720 out of 720. So don't bother. The aim is never to solve each and every question in the paper. The aim is always to be a better version of your past. Every time when you are giving an exam, you should get a better score in comparison to the previous score that you have got. Right? Aditya, are you here? I see your video stuck. Right. The last point before I take more questions is, can I go from 120 to 170? Always remember this. There is a very, very beautiful statement that I always say. कौन कहता है आसमां में सुराग नहीं होता? तुम एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यार. Right? Have people done it in the past? Answer is yes. Is it easy? Is it a cakewalk? Answer is no. It is not easy. It is not a cakewalk. But is it possible? Answer is yes. When it will be possible? We have already mentioned that from now onwards, when your life is about eat, sleep, read, repeat, I want you to write it down and write it in your study table, write it on a piece of paper and paste it. Eat, sleep, read, repeat. When you sleep in the night, you can say with a lot of pride to yourself that you did your best. I'm betting on this. You can't even imagine how you will see the improvement in your scores. You can't even imagine that. That is how this is gonna happen. But it will need a lot of hard work. It will need a lot of pain. And remember, there is no gain without pain. Ultimately, it is always about immediate gratification versus delayed satisfaction. Whether you want to avoid the pain right now and you want to have this pain later, or whether you are ready to suffer slightly right now so you can have a relatively better life later on. And that's how the very, very simple philosophy goes. I think Aditya had slightly bad internet connection. I think most of the questions that I have covered. Just for a new information, I am once again telling those who have joined me later. DBMCI is conducting the one of its most awaited program, which is a one-shot program from 4th May to 10th of May. This will be on DBMCI One app. Download the DBMCI One app. The link for this is a complimentary program. You have to fill the form. If you have filled the form, you will get the access of the course from 4th May to 10th of May. 7-day, all 19 subjects will be covered. Aditya, final words from your side.
Sir, मैं बीच में थोड़ा miss हो गया this question.
So I took two questions. First is, can I get from 120 to 170? I say everything is possible if you work hard for it. It's not a cakewalk, but I have seen people improving it. But the one who have improved are the one who have left everything, and the only thing that they have eaten neat, they drank neat, they sleep neat for the next 2 months. That's how I will take it. Yeah.
Drank neat थोड़ा मतलब अलग meaning मत ले लेना. सिर्फ neat NEET वाला neat. Yeah. So the last words I would say, sir, I would talk about the last 7-day revision एक बार last time. कि why is that last 7-day revision important? And how should you plan? Yeah, how should you do that last 7-day or 10-day revision, and why I emphasize so much on it. The reason for that last 7-day revision is that you will have a basal knowledge. आपके पास होगा that basal knowledge that is going to get you that 120, 130 questions correct. Don't worry about that. You're already getting those questions correct in GT. Okay. The purpose of that last 7-day revision is if you have done all the 18 subject, 19 subjects, and mostly the most important volatile points of that, all the knowledge will come on surface. When all the knowledge comes on surface, when you go to the exam hall, then see, if you would have done the toxoplasma versus CMV, which we discussed right now, 2 months ago, then on the exam day, you will definitely get confused whether it was toxoplasma with the diffuse calcification or whether it's toxoplasma with periventricular calcification. But if you would have revised it 2 days or 3 days before the exam, then immediately the question itself will tell you, हाँ मैंने 2 दिन पहले ही पढ़ा था यार अभी मैंने, हाँ toxoplasma में diffuse होती हैं और CMV में periventricular होती हैं, right? Same goes for example, very important topic from derma, the STI and the infection kits. If you would have done it 1 month prior to the exam, you must have the concepts. You do know the concepts. Okay, there is urethritis, there is cervicitis, there is, inguinal buboki management. बट उस दिन हो सकता है एग्जाम में कंफ्यूज हो, ब्लैक कौन सा था, ब्लू कौन सा था, व्हाइट कौन सा था, व्हाटएवर इट इज, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू इनटू द डिटेल ऑफ दैट. बट इफ यू रिवाइज इट 7 days or 5 days prior to the exam, you see the question, your mind itself will tell you that you had revised it, and now I'm able to answer it. So that is why the last 7 day revision is extremely important, and how you should plan it. I always say plan it in a way that you go from the most conceptual subjects to the least conceptual and the most volatile subjects, depending upon your preparation. आपके जो प्रिपरेशन है, तो आप सर्जरी मेडिसिन जो ब्रॉड सब्जेक्ट्स आपने यू मस्ट हैव डन देम आल्सो प्रॉपर्ली अ लॉट. कीप देम ऑन डे -10, डे -9. अनदर थिंग दैट यू कैन डू इज दैट मे बी जो आप रिविजन खत्म कर रहे हो, the revision prior to that you are ending, ensure that it ends in surgery or OBGYN. Then you move to the medium recallability subjects, pathology, microbiology, something on those, pathology, microbiology, physiology. Physiology still a lot of people is very conceptual, people can keep it towards the end. Your PSM, something on those. And then you come to the most volatile subjects. You ensure that you revise in and most volatile and high yield topics of them. Biochem कर ली, you know, you did anatomy, D-3 पे anatomy कर ली, D-2 पे आपने biochem कर ली, आपने opthal is a lot of very volatile for a lot of subjects despite being conceptual. You did it and then you gave the exam. So this ensures that you kept the most volatile subjects towards the end. Exam में उल्टी करके आ गए. कंसेप्चुअल सब्जेक्ट्स आपने अभी D-7 10 पे पढ़े हुए थे, आपको उतना तब तक याद रहेगा. एंड मीडियम वॉलेटाइल वाले आपने D-5 D-6 पे पढ़े हुए थे. सो दिस इंश्योर्स that you are in the best foot possible, you have your best foot forward and give the exam properly, and then you don't make the silly mistake that you are saying. Silly mistake यही है ना, that you're not remembering toxo was, again repeating that example, but it's a good example to repeat because it's a mistake which a lot of people end up doing, कि toxo में diffuse होती है और CMV में periventricular calcification होती है, like that. That's it, sir.
Yes, so that's all, guys. We have tried to tell you almost everything that you have to keep focusing. I'm just quickly summarizing that. First of all, be focused. See, you can't change your past, but you can change your future by working in the present. That's a very, very simple philosophy. Now, because of whatever reason that you have not studied in the past, please don't waste more time thinking that I have not studied in the past. Because if you will not study, this is for sure that you are not getting a rank. But if you will study now, there is a chance that you might get a rank. Might get is definitely better than not. That's very, very simple philosophy that I follow. I cannot change that's not in my hand. But what is in my hand is to study now. One. Now, avoid distractions. And if you get distracted with the social media, please avoid it. Please avoid it.
डिलीट कर दो यार.
Yeah,
मैं तो अभी I'll be very blunt, डिलीट कर. 2 महीने से कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ना, डिलीट कर दो.
And do you remember those old time when you used to have exam and आपकी family cable connection कटवा देती थी? You go back to those times. And those time internet was not there because the cable was the most common source of distraction. But what was it done by every house? Answer is no. Some of the students could control. Most of the people were unable to control, right? So it depends on you that where are you, right? Are you able to control that urge? Are you the one who is switching on to your phone or your Insta every 5 minutes? Because now whenever you gonna go to your notes, it will take 10-15 minutes to get to that concentration, right? So those are the points. Third, don't try to read everything. If you have already revised your notes, the best thing is keep on reading them again and again. Keep on writing the test. Keep on writing the daily test. We are providing you daily test. Keep on writing one GT every 7 to 10 days. Identify the mistakes that you are doing in the GT. Identify these mistakes are from those topics which you have already read it. If it's a mistake from the topic which you have already read it, you have to make sure that you are developing a way that you are not committing those mistakes. You come across some random topic that you've never covered, you are doing them wrong, ignore it. Unless you're already at a league of 170, 175 correct. If you're already at a league of 170, 175 correct, then you should not leave anything. Then you have to try to find out from where I can get some more information to take an edge, right? But if you are at a range of 100, 120, 130, अभी आपकी प्लेट में ऑलरेडी बहुत सारा खाना है, उसको ही खाएंगे पहले, right? So that's the philosophy. If you are not getting confident on a subject, I do not have a time to watch the entire video. Now that's a time when, depending on at what stage you are, one shot program is gonna really help for you. If you are a DBMCI student, You have already read your notes multiple times, but you are getting that FOMO. Am I missing an important stuff? One shot program is gonna be a very, very big boon for your preparation, right? These are the standard aspects. You don't want to follow any advice. This is absolutely okay, but please do not miss one advice, and that is you have to study. Eat, sleep, read, repeat. This is the minimum philosophy. आप हमसे नहीं भी पढ़ रहे काम चल जाएगा, बट आप नहीं पढ़ रहे तो काम नहीं चलेगा,
काम नहीं चलेगा।
राइट? तो वो करना बहुत जरूरी है. डू लेट अस नो दैट वी कैन डू एनीथिंग एल्स फॉर यू, बट डोंट कम अप टू अस सेइंग कि सर हम पढ़ नहीं रहे. Nobody has a solution if you're not studying. So me and Aditya will once again re-emphasize that please पढ़ लो. It is your exam. It is your life. And life after a PG is relatively better. Life without PG. I will not say there is no struggle, but it will be relatively better than without PG. That is what I'm going to say. That's all from our side. Thank you very much for interacting with us. It was a lovely session. Thank you, Aditya, for joining me.
So thanks.
I think we will have more of these sessions to avoid anxiousness in the student's mind as the exam is gonna coming more and more close. But you have to promise that you are studying, right? Chalo. May God bless you all.
Good night, everyone. Yeah.